elements of those linear rails. So I wanted a good method of measuring the flatness of the y-axis rails across the machine. This is quite challenging because they're quite long and quite far apart. But there's a really cool, inexpensive method that I learned about online where you can use a laser level and webcam sensor to measure flatness relatively accurately over large surfaces of almost any.
Today we're on the YouTube channel TAOW and we are looking at making a CNC router part 4. But before we do, check out the likes. We see 311. That means 311 humans looked at this and said, what I'm seeing is done correctly. Think about what I'm about to show you. That being said, come over here and check out the other 3 videos in the build series. And this, of course, is the content creator directing his audience. If you want a refresher on the build so far, so check this out. Here's what 311 people said looks right. Oh my God. I want you to pay very careful attention to right here. This is his IEC power coming into the controller. This is what's supplying the controller the AC power. You could see a ground, you could see a neutral, and you can see a live. I want to bring your attention to this gentleman's voice. Listen.
This is the electronics and control that I'm using for now. I built this.
Now, that gentleman is obviously not from the US. And that being said, that would mean that essentially this controller is being powered by 220 volts because Europe, that's what its standard is. If that's the case, then neutral and live on this IEC power in is both a power leg. That being said, let's continue to play the video. I want to show you something that's probably the most horrific thing I've seen yet in any of these videos. But before I do, think about what we're looking at. No shielding, no grounding, zero ambient space for air at all. Basically, this is just confinement as far as drives equal spacing all the way around. That's it. You don't have to worry about any airflow because that's basically been suffocated. Daisy chaining is being done all over the place. Basically, it's a thrown together system. Not me saying it, you looking at it. Listen.
This is the electronics and control that I'm using for now. I built this a really long time ago.
Now, look at this. There's a conductor coming off of the ground terminal. Watch.
Of my old DIY.
Now it got clearer. Here is that conductor once again. We also see conductors, and when I say conductors, I'm talking internal conductors of the leads going into this IEC terminal. That means that if this cable here, which is supplying AC power to his controls, if that was to wiggle left and right just a little bit, these conductors could actually make contact with that ground. And if they do, that's known as a dead short, and you would have a very, very bad day. This is probably the most unsafe video I have seen yet with anyone using terminals like this that are not being used properly. These are designed for ring terminals so that the ring terminal will sit properly installed inside of where that screw goes through and everything is good. But of course, this guy decides it's right to use conductors that aren't even tinned or have any connector attached to them at all and just once again terminate them by tightening down and compressing the bare copper conductors from his leads on them. Terrifying.
CNC router, and it's kind of a minimum viable setup to get the machine working.
No shit.
It's got a 24 volt power supply connected to 3 stepper motor drivers, one for each axis of the machine. The step and direction pins from that are then connected to a breakout board. This is then controlled through Mach 3 on an old PC. I was initially using...
I'm just asking everyone out there, if you're using an old PC, anything that's past, let's say, 5 years old, reconsider your PC or upgrade it. 16 gigs of memory, always the way to go, especially right now if you're using it with CAM. Obviously, it's the best way to go. And check your hard drive, guys. I can't tell you how many guys contact me weekly telling me bullshit like their hard drive has failed. Like, what? How is that possible? You can buy a solid state drive for like 20 bucks now. I mean, think about it like this. Starbucks, I think in the news I just read they wanted to raise their cup of coffee to like $9. People are paying $9 for coffee but can't have data redundancy? Stop it. Just stop. You're getting into CNC robotics. Do yourself a favor. Invest in a solid state drive.
Very old computer from 2010.
Using an old computer from 2010? Yeah, I'd say that's fucked.
On Windows Vista, but
and Windows Vista, and we did see a wood router.
Halfway through filming this video, that PC died. I set up my
Are we making it up? And I didn't know at all he was going to say that.
Mac 3 on a more modern PC using a parallel port PCI Express adapter, but this didn't work. So in the end, as a temporary solution, I'm using a cheap USB breakout board instead of the wildly outdated parallel port.
The wildly outdated parallel port, and he selected a USB breakout board. Let's see which one.
But
how many have seen that board in all my videos? Isn't it weird these guys all use the same board? I mean, you got to wonder if there's a memo that's floating around with an email that says, hey, buy this. This is the $8 to $12 board most of these guys use. This guy changed that from parallel port, which parallel port, if you're okay with that technology, is way more stable than USB. I'll put all the information on the screen validating my point that USB is completely unstable, which I've put in probably every video now I'm doing because all we keep seeing is this bullshit, but we'll keep going.
I really want to upgrade this setup. I want to go to closed loop servos for faster travel speed.
It's always better to have closed loop servos when you have a controller built with this kind of quality.
And I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with Mac 3 or go to something else. I've heard good things about Linux CNC and Fluid NC, so if anyone's used either of these...
Now, how many of you guys out there, like myself, love when guys pull out all the precision measuring instruments? They're so precise on the chassis side of it as far as building it, but then you see the contraption that he just built to actually control it. I think these guys get lost with footwork in their mind because for some reason building a great chassis, which is essentially an erector set that moves, is more important than the brain of the system. Hey guys, jump over to eDealers Direct Automation and check out my eBay store for the components used to make what you see in this video, as well as many others that you may not even realize you need. Of course, I'm always there if you have questions. Message me and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And of course, I do custom engineering as well as consultations. Thank you for watching this video and your support. Take care. Actually controlling it. I have no idea with that. I just know that what we see here is done all over the place. And of course, we've once again see the wood router, and we'll listen to him continue.
Please leave it in the comments down below. It would be much appreciated. After doing step per millimeter calibration and motor tuning, this is what the machine looks like jogging in all three axes. At the moment with these steppers, the max travel speed I can get is 2200 millimeters per minute. But I think I could increase that with servo motors or higher voltage on the steppers.
But do you need to? That's the question. I mean, are you limited in your production? Is that what it is? You're saying the machine isn't able to keep up with how many sales you're having, sir? Or are you saying that you need to increase speed with servos because then your next video in your series will be you upgrading the table so we can get more subs and more likes by hopefully people that are more educated than the ones leaving likes on this video? Because anyone giving you a like after seeing that controller, we really have to understand what they're thinking, because I can't imagine anyone looking at that, even if they've never seen a system before, and saying it's done right.
But this minimum viable setup will do for now. Time to do some test cuts. First, I'm facing off a block of aluminium with some relatively conservative feeds and speeds. The machine seems to be cutting very nicely with...
Now he's doing 500 millimeters a minute, or at least claiming to do that. If he's doing 500 millimeters a minute and he's worried about production, shouldn't we be looking at how the controller is built? Shouldn't we be looking at what actually instigates stability? Because again, and I say this all the time, this video, it's 24 minutes, most of which is him building the system. You'll see that on screen here. I'll go through. I mean, think about this, guys. Who's going to that level of going through and using different types of leveling instruments for extreme precision, using dial indicators, doing the tooling that he's using with lathes? You can see here his shop is well equipped, and then he builds a controller like you saw.